Happy Valentine's Day. Hi, guys. We are back for another Valentine's Day special. I'm here with my friends and my sister. Say hi, guys.
Hey. Happy Valentine's Day.
So we are back by popular demand again to come and just talk about relationships, talk about dating, doing a debrief of what has happened throughout the year. So we're going to kick it right off with question number one, which is, at what point in the stage of the relationship are you expecting a Valentine's Day gift?
Immediately. I don't know. I feel like people, if we're dating and it's Valentine's Day, I could at least get some flowers or something. Like, I think that sets the tone for what the dating process is going to be like.
But what counts as dating? Like, you guys have already been on one date, or like, what about like you're at the talking stage? Because sometimes you be talking to people for a little bit before you actually go on a date with them.
If we're going on a date and it just happens to be Valentine's Day, first date, second date, third date, you could at least come with a bouquet of flowers.
Agreed.
For sure. Yeah, I think the dating stage, the talking stage, you're still getting to know each other. So I would say the dating phase for sure.
Yeah. I've had a first date and it's been Valentine's Day.
Oh.
And he brought like a bouquet of flowers.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not expecting like a grand gift early on. I guess is that what you meant? Like,
no, I mean anything, because also like we've been talking about this in my group chat where like some of my friends are like, I don't even expect anything anymore. And I'm thinking like, do y'all remember high school? Like, hello, like the guy was giving a gift to every girl that he liked.
Right. Yeah.
It didn't even matter if they were like talking together. Like if he liked her, he was getting her a gift. And like, I feel like now it's become so like such a commitment for like guys. Oh my gosh, if I get her a gift, like I have one homeboy, he probably gonna see this, where he's like, I'm like, if Valentine's Day comes around, like I'm not getting nobody a gift. Like even if he talks to like a few like multiple girls, or if he's talking to like one girl, like I guess like he's like, nah, we not a relationship. I'm not taking anybody out. Like I'm not doing anything. To me, it's not that serious. It's not that deep.
Right.
I don't understand. I don't understand. I don't know. Like, because our group chat, we talk about, a couple of my group chats, we talk about the men have changed as well. But in the words of my therapist, like, set the standard for, and I guess to your point, like the expectations, my expectation is that, like, even with my husband now, did I expect a bouquet of flowers? Absolutely. Like, I mean, he set the tone early on. And so I do think that men set the tone. Like, if you're giving me flowers up front, that shows what type of guy that you are, even though in the words of my mama, don't start nothing you can't continue or be consistent with. Yeah. But I just think that I feel like that's kind of bogus, like for dudes to not want to give now. But I think we're in a space where men feel hurt and they feel like they've been taken advantage of and now they don't want to do anything. But I also feel like when you're used to men giving, the standard gets elevated. And so for you to not think to even give me a bouquet of flowers.
No, I think too, it's like we have a certain expectation too. Like I feel like as myself, like I'm a romantic, like I'm a hopeless romantic. So even like me picking out gifts like for y'all, like I'm sitting there taking the time. It's like it's no thought like really behind it. Like it's just something that I just do because it's Valentine's Day. So I think it also speaks to like, because I ask guys up front, like, are you romantic? And they be like, yeah. And you're not. You're not, because you would be sitting there feeling uncomfortable with the fact that you're like talking to somebody and you didn't get them nothing, because this is like one of the most romantic days.
Right.
Like it's centered around romance, even though like if it's not centered around like somebody that you actually love, that you just like, it's very much like thinking about like romance. So this next question, do you feel like social media has shaped what we think romance is supposed to look like?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I only say that, first of all, anybody that knows me, I'm not really on social media, but
she be on that watching.
Right. And I think it's definitely, especially for women, right? And for men, because they are like, oh, I need to meet this certain standard. Right. But for women, what you see, and I think it's all a facade. I could be biased, but not everyone is going to get a G-Wagon every birthday, every Christmas, or Valentine's Day. Like those are, I just feel like it's attainable. I'm not saying it's not, but it's just not reasonable, right? So I think it also warps like your perception of romance. Like, oh, because he didn't get me this, he doesn't love me. Is he gonna keep up with that every year? Like, consistency is what matters, not like what you do and every Valentine's Day or birthday. And social media does that.
It makes you feel like you are behind.
Yes.
In everything that you do. And I feel like it's, especially somebody who does content, it is social media reality, and then it's your actual reality.
Like real life for real.
Right.
If your like community, your network is not driving G-Wagons, and you're dating somebody within your community, why do you think that, like...
That's normal.
That's normal. Like, like, why... If he doesn't have one himself, or he's not living that type of lifestyle, and you're choosing to date him, like, why would that be your expectation that you gonna pop up with this G-Wagon?
And if you didn't want a G-Wagon until you saw somebody do it on social media...
Right.
I think you should also be reassessing, like, what you want. But, I mean, I think that's the problem with social media in general. Like, it creates this... false reality of what people should be doing with their lives or what they should have, which is why I feel like all my friends end up being on a fast because they feel like it's distracting and things. Like, even for myself, I feel like when I'm going through or I'm like praying for something, I don't want to, like, if I see people getting it, it does, you're human. So it does create this extra pressure of like, I should be doing this or I should be getting this. But it's not real. People show you what they want you to see.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
I respect so much of my friends who are not on social media at all because you don't see them at all, and they be the happiest ones. And it be the ones that's like posting all the time, every day. We love each other. No, you don't. Like those. But I just feel like those are the ones that I'm like, dang, they divorced. Like, dang, they broke up. What happened? I thought y'all were, because that's what you see and that's what people show you.
Yeah, I was just talking about, like, I do not post no man. Like, people know, like, it's so funny, like, when I'll post, like, one of my guy friends or, like, somebody, like, we just, like, kicking it out with, and they're in my story, and everybody's sending me the ads. I'm like, first of all, y'all already know the rules and regulations around here.
That's real.
Like, this is not that. And I just feel like, because, like, that part, I feel like so much is exposed, like, especially when you do content of your life, like, that specific part, I kind of want to just keep private until, like, it's time to, like, okay, like, engagement, maybe, and, like, then the wedding, and then, like, the kids or whatever. But, like, while I'm trying to build and make sure this is a sensible person, I don't need to be distracted by what social media thinks about my relationship. Right. I do feel like I've thought about this, is like, when I start dating somebody, is he going to be, and I'm still doing content, like, is he going to be like, not necessarily a part of like my whole, because like my content is really just going out or whatever, but is he going to be like, I'm going to be going out and he in the back and like, you know, like, people just know he's my boyfriend. Right. So I think that, like, that too, like, I don't think I could actually work with, like, and be on social media with my significant other, though. Because I feel like people also don't be praying for your happiness.
No, that's real.
That is true.
That is absolutely real. They see you happy and they don't want you to be happy.
Because, you know, when I be irritated just praying on people's downfall.
Listen, but I feel like, because I was in that camp, I was like, when I was single, I was telling people, like, if you see me posting somebody on my social media, that is my friend. Yeah, y'all are not gonna see I did not post my husband until literally the engagement. And maybe people in my close friends saw him, but I think it was that trip we took right before we got engaged. That was like the first time I actually posted him on my social media. Yeah. And people was like, where did he come from? Oh, he's been here. Y'all just didn't know.
Yeah. No, I feel that. Okay, so do you feel like sometimes the romanticness can go to something that becomes emotionally unsafe? Like, can it be a little obsessive?
Yeah, because we don't like rejection.
What do you mean by we don't like rejection?
I think that people will stay for certain things. Like, I think, like, to your point about being obsessive, like, I remember dating certain guys and I'm like, I want this to work, or like, I really like him and he like checks all the box. He looks great on paper. We look good together. And then it's like, you see red flags, but then you're like, I'm going to ignore that because I want this to work so bad. And that's kind of what I think about when you're asking if it's getting obsessive or like you're forcing maybe something that the Lord done blocked, but you know.
Okay.
I would say yes, for sure. I know I've been in situationships where you know it's just not for you, and you just your standards, right? You have these standards, like this is what I want in a guy, and before you know it, you have like no standards. And that's when it becomes emotionally and mentally unsafe. And that's like the worst situation to be in. So, and love bombing too. That's a very unsafe situation.
Very
like,
traumatic.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god.
I did not know it was a thing till I literally experienced it. I was just like, oh my goodness, this is what it is.
It is like, oh my god, it is like a roller coaster. And I think like, if you're somebody who's also like very toxic, like I feel like I've been in a toxic part of my life where I'm like, I love the high and then it's low, but I love the high because like you gotta go through the low to get the high. Yes.
Yeah, and then the low be real low.
And the low be like, crazy. It be crazy. Emotionally unsafe.
See, but I feel like because the love bombing thing, that's why I don't like that, because I do think some of my friends have had situations where the guy is loving on them so much, and then it gets to a point where the girl is like, I'm not feeling this no more, and then they are crazy. They don't want to let go, and then you put yourself in a situation where you don't feel safe.
They're obsessive.
Physically, right? Yeah. Like you're looking behind your shoulder every 20 seconds. Not cool.
Okay, so let's transition to something that is a little more safe, which is loving God.
Hallelujah.
Yeah, because I feel like when you're in situations like that, like at least for me, I be having to talk to God like, okay, I know it's getting a little egregious. Like, can you help me get up out of this situation? So the question, do we really love God first, or do we say that until we meet someone that we like? Context, because okay, so I've been watching this this relationship series, and one of the things last week, I can't remember the name of the church now, whatever, I'll post it on like Instagram or social media, but last week his message was on marriage, and he talks about how like marriage, like people are losing the fact that what is the purpose of marriage is that it's a covenant, and absolutely. One of the things that people feel like once they get married, it's going to be this unconditional love.
That's a lie.
Yeah. And he said like other things, but like sex was one of them, and then financial stability was the other one, and he was saying unconditional love is another point where it's like you feel like you like once you get that person, like you're gonna find somebody that's gonna love you unconditionally.
I personally think that I would be lying if I said every time I dated somebody I truly kept God first, because I do think that there were situations where I ended up loving or liking that person more than my relationship with God. And I think, like, my pastor would call us out all the time, like, all right, y'all been at church every Sunday, y'all done got y'all little boo, and now y'all ain't at church no more. Now y'all ain't at Bible study. Now, now you too tired to get up. And I think that I appreciate those situations because it does help you level set, like, where your priority is. And I will say, when you get married, it's going to be challenged. It is going to be challenged. And I think, especially for me and my husband, we have been like in this place where it's like, we have to keep God first, because God allows us to forgive. God allows us to keep my mouth closed when I want to say something crazy, right? Like, God allows me to love even when my husband didn't do the laundry when I asked him to, when I was at work or something like that, right? And I do feel like it's hard because, again, I've been on different journeys with my relationship with God, and I think it is always going to be ebbs and flows. But when you prioritize someone else over God, you will start seeing that your priorities are in the wrong place. And I do think it's hard to hear God's voice when you don't have God as the priority.
Okay, so then how does your relationship with God influence who you date?
Ooh, yes.
Go ahead, Pammy.
Yeah, right. Well, so, and this is real life. I've been in relationships that I knew from the start was not it, right? But you just want to feel loved. You're on this high, right? You're unequally yoked, and it was like every single time I wanted it to work, it never did. No matter what it was, he could be doing everything right in his mind, right? But it's just not sticking. And the past couple of years, I told myself, I was just like, you know what? If this relationship isn't ordained by Christ, I don't want any of it. I don't care how much child, you could be 6'7", the finest thing walking this earth. Well, but I'm just saying, there are instances where I literally would run into, meet guys or whatever, and I could not even tell you what it was, but they just gave me the ick for no reason. I don't know what it is. And I was just like, you know what? This is the Holy Spirit. It's just a discernment, from the Holy Spirit, like, this isn't what I have for you. And it's been great. Yeah. Like, it's been phenomenal. And I believe my relationship with Christ grew stronger when I realized I needed to seek his face first in order to literally get what he wants for me. And that journey could be, I'm talking about exhausting, but to get to it, you have to go through it. Yeah. And that's something I've learned the last couple of years. And I have faith and trust God that it'll work eventually.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good question, because if God delayed your love story longer than expected,
and me,
would your faith shift? I'm gonna jump into it, because I feel like I tell people now, like, when people ask me, like, why are you so single? I'm like, God's timing. Like, I don't know what else to tell you. Like, I pray when I'm like in a situation, I be like, hey, if it's not for me, right, go ahead and release them. 1, 2, 3, release them.
If I ain't got that Valentine's Day gift today.
Listen, because I'm not interested in anything that's not for me. Like, to what you were saying, like, I just feel like when I ask God about, like, who I'm supposed to be dating, and he is, like, trying to show me something, you ignore the red flags. Absolutely. A lot of times you ignore the red flags because you're looking at the potential, and you're seeing something in this person that it don't matter what you see because it's not for you. Yeah. And I fully believe that anything that's for me will not pass me by. Yeah. So regardless of whether, you should have been more focused on, like, finding a husband during this time, or even the situation with kids, I'm just like, if I'm supposed to have kids in this life, that's what's going to happen. Right. Yeah. But I know I'm not having no kids without no husband. Yeah. So 1 + 1 have to equal 2.
That's right.
Amen.
But how do you, I guess, like, I always talk about you guys, like, dating, because you're, like, power women.
Oh,
but
you're so sweet. But I don't know.
That compliment of the day. But, like, how do you, like, feel like dating was different once you passed? Well, you got married at what age, Samira?
34.
Okay. How do you feel
35.
Like dating is
okay?
Right.
Like, how old am I?
How do you feel like dating in your 30s is just, like, different than what you expected?
I feel like I'm a different person. I was a different person in my 30s. So, I mean, I will say, like, me and my book club girlies, we were just reading a book recently, and it was specifically on being intentional about dating. And I think in our 20s, you're still having fun. You're still figuring yourself out. 30s, I finally feel like I kind of was figuring out who I actually am, what I like, what I want from someone, like what I want my partnership to look like. And so I feel like for me, I had already had a situation where I felt like I wasted my time. So when I was single, I'm like, when I turned that switch on, like, I wanted something serious, I'm not wasting my time. I'm being intentional. Like, the first couple of dates, let's have real conversations. And I do think that it helped me stay focused in weeding out, like, yeah, no, you don't bang with God? Not going to work. Next, like, oh, you don't believe in education? Nope. You ain't got no passport? Sorry, not going to. And it's not like things that are like.
Be sending me.
I'm just saying, and it's not like big things. It's like these are things that are aligned with my core values.
Yeah.
And so even with the God-fearing man thing, I feel like I have so much more of an appreciation for it in my 30s because I think why it's so important. It's not just does he go to church? Does he talk to God? It is, does he have a relationship with God? Because that will impact or influence their character. If you don't align with what God, if you don't have a conviction level, you're going to be doing whatever and you're not going to feel any type of way about it. And I can't be in a relationship with somebody like that.
I agree.
So, and it's crazy too, because I think my pastor said this when we were in premarital counseling, but he was talking about, especially with the man being kind of the head, he basically said when, you're looking, I don't know if this is marriage counseling or whatever, but he basically said, you can tell a lot by a man by, one, how he treats his mother, but his relationship with God, because his relationship with God will be a mirror reflection of how he treats his wife. And the more that I pay attention to people's relationships or marriages, it's like that character thing is real.
Okay. So let's talk about sex. Ooh. So
nice transition.
My mama, right? My mama, I'm married now. I know.
Which is so crazy because she was like, "You married now? You know, we can talk about." No, we cannot.
So interesting. I just so want to walk out of the room when the conversation leads that direction. Okay, so coming from like God to like sex is why I like did that transition. Is like, do you feel like that we reduced marriage to sex and church culture? So I remember, for example, when I used to when I was in college, I went to this church and I stopped going because I felt like, it wasn't the only reason I stopped going, but I felt like most of the people in the church were getting married early because they wanted to have sex. And I feel like, and that was one of the things I had brought up with like the pastor that was doing the relationship series, is that church people have like pushed the narrative so much, like you gotta wait till you get married to have sex. Do you feel like that has also played a role in why like some people have gotten married early? Like, is that still like a thing?
I think so. I still have friends that were virgins or are virgins waiting until they get married. But I think it just depends on your journey. Like, I feel like we grew up in church. Yeah. And I think there's...
Pam grew up in church too.
No, that's what I said. We that's what I say. When I say
I went on mission trips.
We grew up in
church.
At
the church conventions.
And so I think it does put pressure. And I think it does, like... I feel like a lot of pastors will say, like, if you make them wait, that's going to put that urgency on them too, because that's basically kind of why they don't, support shacking up and things like that, because they feel like you're giving wifey duties. What's going to make them want to put a ring on it if they are already getting it now?
Okay, so the other part that's opposed to sex, the other thing he said was the financial security. So the question I have is the quote, "I want a provider," about wisdom or insecurity? Because, you know, our culture right now, everybody, which included myself, like, we would like somebody who is financially stable. But do you feel like, does it get to the point where it's like people just want to feel like that is what's going to make them financially secure?
Getting married?
Yeah, getting married.
Well,
do you feel like our culture has pushed this narrative?
I do, but I don't believe it. I do believe that the culture has pushed that narrative, but I mean, I can't speak for, being a married woman. I'm not married, but I do believe that being married kind of builds a foundation for stability. But if you're trying to get married because you want to be financially stable, you're in for a rude awakening. Because, let's be honest, you can't predict the future. Yeah. Like, your husband could be the most successful individual, whatever, stuff happen. Like, you know what I'm saying? So you have to be able to, I don't know, as a woman, step up to the plate and support the household. So I can't go into marriage thinking, oh, this is going to be great. We're, taking PJs to the south of France every summer. Like, that would be awesome. That would be great. But reality is, you might have your, ups and downs. And when you're down, that stability might not be there. So yeah.
It was one of the girls I know in Dallas, she was talking about too, where she grew up and her father ended up passing away. And so at that point, she was like, yeah, my father set my mom and us up nicely, but I think it's like 4 of them that are all girls. And she was like, my mom had to go work. And she had to go, like, make sure that the household was still, like, stable when he also, like, left. So it's just not about, like, yeah, like, you dating somebody. Because I'm not opposed to it at all. Dating somebody who is financially stable, who is financially literate, but you yourself also need to make sure that you have the same knowledge, you have the same skills to be able to build on your own. Because like again, you just never know like what's going to happen.
And I feel like that plays a huge role in divorce rates now.
Yeah.
Like, infidelity is one thing. I'm not saying people don't leave for infidelity, but you will have couples stick together over infidelity than financial issues.
I feel like finances are always
my dad even said that. That's like the top thing for people to get divorces. They can get past the cheating and stuff like that.
You know what I mean?
It's the money stuff, because if you're not on the same page, things can go left really quickly. But I feel like that goes back to your question about people getting married earlier. We're waiting longer to get married now, so we have more to bring to the table. And so it's a little bit harder to accept just anything when you've kind of already figured it out. Like, I don't know if I can accept you trying to figure it out. Right. I already have like a system and things like that. Whereas before, back in the day, they got married, they built together. And so I think now it's that hard balance of how you can still build with someone, but at what point, what is the baseline of what you would expect, or I guess is the standard.
No, that's real. I think that giving them a try. What? Shooting in the gym.
Shooting in your trial period. Okay, you made it not past 90 days.
The shooting in the gym, I think that it's just less like attractive when you're like at this age.
Absolutely.
Because I've like, and I get like people grow. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I don't think I'm like, and I think I'm very successful, but I don't think I'm anywhere close to where I want to be. And so I think that people are constantly growing. And even like, I'm somebody who has switched careers, and most people are also going to do that. And so like, you have to also like the person you're with. Yeah. That's a big thing. Do you like them? I talk about this a lot, where it's like when you're getting married, you're just not taking on like your husband. You're also taking on a roommate.
His family.
The family.
The family.
The family dynamics. Like, I mean, the debt. Like your financial habits. Like, yeah. And I mean, I think even for people who I would say are financially secure, everybody has their own bad habits or things that is like, okay, I'm still trying to work on this. And then you come to that partner, and that person is like literally calling it out. Like, so I just think that coming together is just, but I think for me, it comes back to character, because how do you feel about money? Like, how ambitious are you? Are you someone who you're willing to try something, and if it doesn't work, you pivot? And I think that's how you start navigating or weeding out like someone's character, their ambition, and basically what their action behind what they say they're going to do if they're not, or because that's going to be consistent whether they have it or if they don't. No,
that's real. Okay, so I want to pivot to self-love, because I feel like when you think about, and I've heard this multiple times, like just listening to different sermons or preachers talk about marriage, and they're like, both of y'all are bringing baggage. Both of y'all are bringing baggage. So, like, what are some of the things that you feel like is necessary before you're getting into the relationship, or before you're going into more of a commitment, such as marriage, in terms of, like, being self-aware? Like, what are some of the ways that, I guess, like, you, Tamara, but also, like, Pam, like, what are some ways that you are preparing yourself to be in a committed relationship?
I will start. Because I have literally been praying about this, and it's been part of my devotions, like my morning devotions. I'll be very transparent. I'm so impatient. Well, I'm better now. That's with relationships, career, family, friends. Like, I've just been impatient. I've lost friends because it's like one or done. And when I started, getting into the word, if Christ could forgive, like die on the cross of Calvary, like who am I not to, be able to forgive and just be patient? So that's literally the past 2 years I've prayed for patience, and God would put you in the most trying situations.
Like, you thought you learned this?
To test your patience. I mean, from driving to men to friendships, family. And every time I'm in that situation, I'm like, okay, this is a test from God. I'm about to pass. Like, I might not pass, but I think patience is a huge one. Humility, for sure. And being comfortable with yourself. Like, everyone has an insecurity, right? But being secure within yourself, regardless of situation, regardless of where you are, having a mind of your own, that comes with security. So I know patience, being secure within yourself, and for sure, humility. I think those are like 3 factors I've been working on. Because I'm real quick. Like, I'm real quick with the mouth. Like, I mean, like I talk back a lot.
You gonna hear what I had to say today.
Oh, goodness gracious. So I used to talk back a lot, like, and I'm the only girl in my family. You know, I grew up with all boys, like even my cousins, like it was all boys. So I'd be real quick to talk back. And I remember my last relationship. He was like, you know, with that mouth, you ain't gonna get nowhere. And that really hit home for me. I was just like, oh my gosh, I really need to work on that. Yeah. So I think twice before I even say stuff. Like, no matter what. I think that's a huge thing.
I'm going to just be quiet.
I think that's a huge thing. Respect. Yes. Self-respect.
That is
a
real.
huge,
that is
it's a huge thing. You got to respect yourself before you respect others. So, you know what I'm saying? I have enough respect for myself, like standards, you know. So I think that plays a role into when you want to get married, seeking a partner and all that.
Yeah, I will definitely say the mouth thing was, you know, I think my husband can say it's gotten better.
I was preparing her.
She was.
Really?
My whole family.
Yes.
Literally, my dad would be like, your mouth's so juicy.
But she gets it from him.
Yes.
But I would prepare her for not even just her husband. I would prepare her for other people.
And my friends.
And her friends. Yeah. Because, like, I can't get rid of you.
Right. You here for life.
Right. I at least, like, need to assist with, like, girl, ain't nobody gonna want you. Like, ain't nobody gonna be around you because you just be saying things.
But that's so true. My mom said the same thing. Like, in college, I remember that. I said something. Well, first of all, she slapped me across the face first. So my ear was ringing. And she was like, ain't nobody want that mouth. And my mom is a night job. She doesn't play. So she's small, but she mighty. So I learned the hard way. So I'm not slick in the mouth anymore.
That's real. I will say therapy for me, for sure. Like, I think when I was single, especially before I got intentional about trying to be married and stuff like that, to your point about the self-care and just working on me, because I think it's easy to go into situations and to call out faults of other people, and then when they call out faults of yours, it's easy to be like, it's you, it ain't me. And I think that I had to be more self-aware, and I mean, I spent a lot of time in therapy before I even was back out there dating, because I needed to protect my peace, and I needed to protect myself. And to your point about self-care, like, I think I was still figuring out, like, what makes me happy. Like, if I'm stressed out, what do I need to do to get up and be productive? Like, I think especially, like, when I moved to New York, like, everybody didn't know this, but I was, like, really depressed. Like, the pandemic was, like, crazy. I was on the couch. I would literally be on the couch, go to my bed. On social media, I look like I'm outside, but I was really depressed, and I had to get myself out of that funk. So it was getting my massages, making sure my hair was done, making sure my nails were done. My husband now, he'll be like, it's a little, let's make this hair appointment. Let's get this lash.
Now Kirby called me asking about who's my lash girl. I'm tired of her wearing them strips. They be falling off. I'm like, oh, brother.
But I think if I couldn't communicate that to him, he wouldn't know what I needed. Exactly. And so that's why I'm like, you know, you can't help people when they don't know what they need themselves. And so trying to understand what I know I need for me to be whole, for me to be happy, because your partner not going to do that.
Right.
I mean, they can do stuff for you, but internally, if you're not happy, there's nothing there's nothing anybody can do to make you happy.
Right.
No, that's real. I think I really like myself.
You do. I was going to say, because you go to, like, I feel like people live through you with your ballet classes and doing whatever you want to do.
That's why I'm so, like, because also I feel like I'm easily, like, hopeless romantic. Like, I'm easily swayed into, like, a situation.
Ooh, child.
So, listen. Like, you know.
We be like, say no.
I'll be like, no.
So I do feel like when I feel like, all right, like, I'm missing ballet, like, I'm missing, like, some of the things, because I have really set, like, my life, like, for me to feel whole. And I think, like, I do struggle, like, I talk about this in therapy, like, making sure that I am, like, allowing somebody to come in, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it has to throw you off.
Right.
Because, like, as, like, free-spirited that I am, I still don't do well when it's not, like, a schedule structure. Like, I feel like I'm at my best where I know, like, I got ballet Tuesday, Thursdays. Right. Like, all of a sudden I start cooking. All of a sudden
girl, she just sent us some little pictures in the group chat. Me and my mama like, girl, all of
a sudden I start, you know,
the pots and pans is getting
I start doing a little
she got some seasoning used. Come on.
I started doing a little, like, you know, a little more mature things. I don't know if that's mature, but whatever. I started doing more things that I feel like just are making me whole. Because eating out, like, I didn't grow up eating out. Like, mama cooks. So, like, these are things that I feel like that, like, as I'm growing older, like, it's just fulfilling me. And so, like, it is kind of like, it's difficult for me to, like, see somebody as a part of this,
right?
Because it has to really make sense. Like, are you supporting what I got going on? I think I don't know if I talked about this in my last podcast, but when, like, one of the guys, like, I was talking to, and he was asking me, like, was I going to stop doing content creation? And I was just looking at him like, I don't know, like, why you're even asking me this. You're not even pursuing me, actually.
So what are we really talking
about? You're not my man.
Actually.
And if you're asking me this question, you're definitely not my man.
You're definitely not my man, because it's just like, you see that I'm doing something that makes me happy. Don't get me wrong. Like, I tell my followers all the time, like, y'all know, like, hey, the events, I don't know what y'all gonna do when I feel like being in the house, right? Because Auntie is actually tired. However, like, me influencing people, I know my purpose in life. Like, my purpose has always been, like, storytelling. It's always been, like, inspiring other people.
She's an author, y'all. Just
that part.
Okay,
just throwing it out there.
Check the credentials.
But all of my jobs have been, like, social impact work. Even, like, on the sustainability side. Although, I mean, sustainability, like, environmental, whatever. I'm born on Earth Day, though. But it's like I know, and, like, I do like an environmental activity each year to volunteer. But to say the least, like, I feel like in this, like, chapter of my life, I know who I am. And so, like, it's hard to see somebody else, like, come into that don't know who they are.
But I think that should hopefully make it easier for us to weed people out, because you're either adding value to my life or you're taking away.
Well, then you have the pretenders.
Well, and I think that's why, like, again,
they can't pretend for so long.
But they can only pretend for so long.
Real.
That's what, like, I feel like a couple of my friends now that they're older, they're like, nope, we doing a trip now. Like, let's book the trip. Like, we're not waiting 5 months for me to realize you're a horrible traveler. Like, when I know I love to travel. And I think especially at this big age, it's like, we don't have to do, okay, let's go on this couple of dates first. Let's keep it chill. No, do stuff that in your real life, this is what you do on a regular.
Regardless, I think it also plays that security part. One thing Faith said that really touched home, like, stuff I would do normally when I'm single, when you find yourself dating or in a relationship, as women, we try to cater to the man and we almost forget, like, ourselves. Like, I used to go, maybe I go to the Ritz to get massages once a month. And all of a sudden, I'm over here cooking jollof rice for someone that I should be cooking jollof rice for. Like, what are we really doing? Then now when I want to go to massage, you asking for jollof rice? No, sir, that's not what we're doing today. Like, what? So I'm not saying there shouldn't be compromise, obviously, but there should be balance, you know what I mean, without losing yourself. And
you don't have to do, like, I feel like it's okay that y'all don't like to do the same stuff.
Right. Yeah.
Like, absolutely. I feel like some stuff is very, like, I do that, like, in all of my relationships. Like, with my friends, like, I know who wants to do this. I know what Tamara wants to do. Like, I understand, like, what is some stuff I'm going to do by myself, and I'm going to be okay with that. But it's also, like...
And you do that very well, actually.
You know, it's been some years of doing that.
You know not to ask me to go.
She'd be like, well, Pam, what are you doing? Sleep.
I've had years of practice doing that. But I also don't like, when people feel like I'm only going to do what I like to do. And we're not going to do what you like to do, which comes down to, like, the jollof rice. If I go to the Nutcracker every year.
Manifest.
She sure does, actually.
I go every year.
As my man, you're going to be knowing the tickets need to be bought already.
Listen, and if you want to be a part of that specific experience with me that brings me joy, then you also have to know exactly what is needed to do this.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I will say too, like, because me and my husband, we've been in marital counseling, and even recently, like, I think I was struggling with feeling like I'm not doing enough. Now, granted, I'm always doing all the things, but for some reason, social media, whatever, these pressures, right? I feel like, oh my gosh, I'm not volunteering. I'm not as involved in my church as I used to be, and I'm not on all these committees and da-da-da. Like, I just feel like I have to be on in my, we do marital counseling with the couple, and the wife basically was like, Tamara, you're doing enough.
Right.
And you have a lot on your plate, and you need to be okay with that. But she was also like, you cannot lose yourself because you're trying to appease your husband. You're trying to appease what they want from you from work, and then still not do the things that you know make you happy. And I think it's easy, even being married. And my husband love for me to be happy, okay? Like, he knows when I'm not on my routine. He knows to give me that feedback. That's why it has to be the right person, because it's like, even if it's a musical and they singing the whole time and he don't really care, he knows I'm gonna be in there like, come on, babe, right? He'll thug it out to support me. And so, but it's easy for women because we like to give all the time, and it's not gonna stop when you get into marriage. That's why you have to do it intentionally when you get single, so that when you do get married, I mean, you are gonna appease your husband. There are gonna be some sacrifices you make, and you're like, I didn't want to go out. Like, me and my husband, we went out a couple of times trying to not be outside for the Valentine's Day weekend. And I'm like, I don't feel like it. I'm tired. But I went out because I know he wanted to be out. Yeah. He wanted to do something special. And it's like, even in those moments when I make those sacrifices, it's like, okay, I still need to do something for myself, and not forgetting that. So I feel like it's very important to learn those good behaviors when you're single, because it's just going to be even more added pressure when you get married.
I have a question. So I was on TikTok today. This is awesome.
Oh my God.
And
Miss TikTok.
Miss Dallas. Not too much.
Yeah, we went to a party and they was in there like, Miss TikTok.
Oh my goodness.
Miss I was like, my sister
trying to tell
is
people, like, God,
everywhere.
I be trying to tell people, God do not play about me. Like, hello, it was on the prayer list. Like, it got checked off. Like, that is what happens. So I'm not even surprised that things like this happen. Like, humbly, I manifest everything that has happened in my life.
So what did you see on TikTok?
Okay, so she was like, these black romantic movies that we consider our romantic and our good love stories. She thought they were horror movies. Started with number 1, your favorite, Love and Basketball.
Why is that a horror movie?
She felt like that. What was her name? Sanaa Lathan.
Yeah.
Sanaa Lathan.
Yeah.
She felt like she was the last choice. Like, she was the one that was still standing.
After he was doing
well. What?
But you still won. I mean, I guess it's perspective. It is perspective, because while it took a little minute for them to get back together, she went and pursued her dreams. She went and she was not waiting for this man to come to his senses. She lived her life, and she came back and was like, yeah, and I'm still that girl. And he was looking like, okay. And then, even though, he was in his situation or whatever, I always say all the time, what's meant to be will be, regardless of how you get there. It don't need to be toxic. It don't need to be, I'm about to kill you, stalk you, and all the things. But what's supposed to be, you can't force it. Some way, somehow, things end up just working themselves out.
Another one was Baby Boy.
Now that's ghetto. I don't even have a defense for that. That's not even considered like romantic.
For some people
it is.
It's like, like that hood love.
Absolutely not.
Where is Sheba at?
No.
We were definitely talking
I don't
about
even
this.
have a defense for that. Love and Basketball, yes. I was going to say, like, that's like more reality. Yeah. It happens in real life too. Like,
might have to spin a block.
No, it really does. Because I remember in high school, oh my gosh, y'all, I was the biggest nerd. And I was a tomboy, complete opposite of what I am now. Like, I was such a tomboy. I think that's why I was a debutante, because my mom was like, yeah, we're going to have to fix this.
Debutante.
Yeah.
And there was this, he was like the finest thing. He was a star athlete, like basketball player or whatever. And I would just stare at him like every time. And I used to dance, like I cheered, but I was still nerdy, like, whatever. This man asked me out on graduation day. I'm like, you asked me out like
school
after
over.
high school, like what we really
he was
doing?
trying to have his last
well,
summer.
it goes back to, regardless of, I was nerdy, tomboy, I was still living my life, and honestly, we actually we were in a relationship for like 4 years. It just didn't work. And he was supposed to go play professional basketball. I'm not going to go into too much detail, but I think that's real.
Okay, we're gonna be like, oh, who is this man?
And I think that's like part of that, the
story.
Yeah, it happens.
I think that a lot of like really nice, like when people who are married and they're talking about their love story, you hear that a lot where it's like, we always just kept talking, or like we went away and then like things didn't work out with who they were with, and then you come back together. But I think it's like when it's a person where it's like detrimental to like your soul.
Goodness.
That's when like
toxic.
There's no reason
it's like,
for them to come back around.
And they always come back around.
No, they love it.
It's like, what?
They can smell the happiness. But like, I think that it is like, I do think that like spinning the block, like you never know, like some things don't work out just because like we've grown into two different people, or we're like here and I'm there, and timing is just not right now. But that doesn't mean that, again, anything that's for you is not going to pass you by. So, no, I fully believe in that. Okay. So, the last movie that she mentioned.
Don't say nothing about Baby Boy. Next to Baby Boy.
And watch somebody be in the comments like, that's not bad.
Oh, my gosh.
They were in the comments on TikTok like, that's why y'all be going through what y'all be going through. Because y'all think this love.
What? With his little bite, too. Girl, don't even take me back.
Okay, so they had Why Did I Get Married? Tyler Perry.
Man.
Now, they be dragging Tyler because they're like, he loves like a black woman struggle. But what do you feel like? I feel like Why Did I Get Married, though, had like so many different parts to it, though.
Yeah. I think that was such a real.
It was real.
Like, it was real.
And I'm sorry, I'm not trying to make this about race, but it depicts like black families.
Yeah.
I can only speak from a black perspective, you know what I'm saying? But I'm not saying all black families. There are a lot of, black families that obviously thrive. I'm not saying that, but everybody goes through ups and downs. And I think Why Did I Get Married is like one of those, like, it's real. Like, it happens.
I think you saw different types of marriage.
Right.
I was watching so many rom-coms. That's why I be thinking.
Well, I say all the time, I feel like our parents like definitely spoiled us.
Absolutely. Like, I feel like it was, we were Disney Channel kids. I feel like that was a lie.
Yeah.
But like also like as some like that's why I also feel like that shaped me into a hopeless romantic, because like I was barely watching any black movies. I wasn't watching Baby Boy. I was watching like Ashton Kutcher movies, like Katherine Heigl.
Right.
Like I was watching all of like the predominantly white movies, and I feel like their romance is a little different than my reality.
Right.
AKA most of them get married early.
Right.
Yeah.
And they normally stay there. It'd be a little interesting in between what's going on, but they're more private about it, I think, opposed to like social media now. But
and our parents kind of liked each other. Like I feel like we see things now as adults, but I feel like we came from a 2-parent household.
Yeah, when you come from 2-parent household,
they try to create the most healthy environment for
regardless.
us. And I think for like it wasn't. Oh, I saw mommy, that's
so they're literally, she doesn't like, when my parents argue, she doesn't remember the arguments.
That is
really?
Yeah, like, what did Corby say? It was some type of psychological thing?
He thinks I'm delusional sometimes, or I forget all the things.
It's like some type of trauma that you like forget it.
All
like
the negative,
your mind erases it. Meanwhile, I'm like, no, I remember that. Like,
right.
I remember them, but I'm just saying, I also have friends that their parents used to be at it.
Yeah, our parents
like there was no healthy situation. It was like I don't like you. I don't like you. We sleep in different rooms, but we together because for the sake of the kids.
Yeah,
I don't feel like my parents like forced.
Yeah, they very much like. Because it's probably only like one, like from childhood, not like once we got older, but like childhood, it was probably only one argument that I fully remember.
Wow.
But it still wasn't like, it never got physical, I feel like, but anything else, like they were very private, like they were very, sheltered in a sense. So even like when we date or like when we grew up, like all this lying and stuff, I'm like.
Listen. Or even like the
what happened in your household? Like,
and I
what changed?
I think that's why I have the delusion.
It is a bit of delusion,
Because I feel like while my parents may have argued and stuff like that, they didn't always do it in front of us.
Yeah.
When they came in front of us, it was like, we on one accord. talk to your mama, talk to your daddy, or we're going to talk about it and go from there. But I think now that we're older, like my mom would be like, oh yeah, we had to have a little side conversation. But it's like y'all didn't show us that.
They didn't.
So while some other people feel like all that arguing, going back and forth, being toxic in front of the kids is normal, that wasn't our normal.
Yeah, that was not our norm. So I think like when like we voiced that, like, this is weird. Like, this is not how you're supposed to show love. People looking at you crazy like this is my norm. But yeah, that don't have nothing to do with me.
That's your norm.
That's your norm. So when we're talking about baggage and like making sure that you are self-aware and that you understand what real love is, in the sense that it is not harming, it's not self-harm, that you have that ready for when you're trying to bring it into somebody else's life. Otherwise, it's literally going to crumble the relationship.
Absolutely. That childhood trauma does take a toll on
that's real.
relationship.
No, that's real. Okay, so we're going to close out a little bit, but how has your definition of love changed with experience?
Jesus Christ. I guess I'll go first, and I'll try to keep it sweet and short.
Go ahead.
I think love, what I thought love was, it was doing the things for me. I thought it was, that action-orientedness. My love language is touch and words of affirmation. So I thought it was, you tell me these things. But I feel like at this big age, love to me is action, and love also is forgiveness and grace and like understanding that we are human beings, but I need you to feel convicted when you were wrong. And so I think that's where my perspective on love has evolved, and especially going from single to being married. I feel like, listen, I gotta love God first to understand what is love, what is not, because my husband, we communicate. We're real with each other. He will hold me accountable. He will call out my foolishness. And I also have had to accept that is also love. He loves me, and he's going to be real with me. Absolutely. And so just because someone is, giving you constructive feedback or calling you out or having a conversation that's uncomfortable, that doesn't mean they don't love you. Because they're actually being honest with you, that is a different form of love. So I definitely feel like it's evolved, especially now being married.
Okay, Pam, I got a different question for you.
Okay.
Okay, so what does healthy love require from you right now?
That's a good one.
These are deep.
No.
Thanks, ChatGPT.
Require from me, I would say, kind of reverting back to Tamara's statement, like God, for sure. I thought I've been in love, and maybe this is too much, but I have not been in love. Now that I'm really embedded in Christ, like I really haven't experienced true love. Love for me is literally how Christ loved the church, right? And that's the covenant of love that I want to experience. I've never experienced that. Like, I've been in lust, right?
Yeah.
That I thought was love. So required for me, I would say the fruits of the Holy Spirit, for sure. And I'm saying that I didn't even give this person or, guys that I dated in the past this part of me. So I know for a fact I haven't been in love. So fruits of the Holy Spirit, I believe, is what's required for me to even give, and vice versa. And being equally yoked, for sure, is a huge thing. I know that's like our underlying discussion, but being equally yoked, whether it's in Christ, economically, physically, because I gotta like you, you know what I mean, and vice versa. Like, I've met guys that they probably, they probably didn't like me, but they just wouldn't be around me, and vice versa. I could love you, but some days I might not love you as much, but I need to like you. I need us to have something that's gonna bring our love back. So yeah, those two things for sure.
The only thing I would add that I forgot to say, maybe I said this, but if I didn't, forgiveness.
Oh
yeah, Pam has said that. Yeah.
Forgiveness just looks so different when you actually love somebody.
I agree. Okay, so this is going to be the last question. Do you guys have any questions for me?
Well, I wanted to ask you, what do you think of love? Like, what's love for you?
And how is dating evolved to today? Because I feel like last time we did podcast for Valentine's Day, I feel like you were in a different space.
I don't even know.
Are you in the same space?
I will say this, honestly, being transparent, y'all.
She always tell me this. Go ahead, because I know what you're going to say.
Fate has changed so much.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm not even trying to be funny. Like, she's, till today, I'm going to go ahead and say this, whether it's shady or not. She's been the one consistent friend that I've had since I've moved. No, for real. Since I moved to Dallas. Fate takes my nonsense. I was about to say BS, but my nonsense. She loved me regardless, and vice versa. Like, I would go
she is a good friend.
above and beyond. And she has changed so much. Yeah. Like, growth, professionally, emotionally, mentally. Like, our conversations evolve each time I talk to her, whether it's about guys, whether it's about work. She's so focused, like, it's insane.
Oh,
like,
my God, Pam called me for advice.
For real. I called her for advice the other day.
Like, I called you for advice. I mean,
you've always called me for advice.
I listen to you now.
Okay, well,
I was like, girl, and I literally, I was scrolling through my phone. I was like, well, I'm not talking to my mom about this. And Faye was the only person. Like, I love my best friend. Shout out to Ingrid, but I was just but I was like, who am I gonna call? I was like, Faye. I FaceTimed her. I was like, look at this. And she, melatonin, like, Pam, first of all.
It's because I be in therapy.
No, but I think therapy has been great for you.
No, therapy has been amazing.
Yes.
And like, I'm good at therapy because, like, I like talking. So, like, I don't normally, like, I feel
she's a yapper.
I am a yapper. So, I feel like my therapist doesn't, like, she probably has a very easy job. I feel like she just be looking at me like she's crazy. But, like, I am able normally to kind of talk through things, but because, like, she's still kind of guiding the conversation.
Helping you process.
Yeah, she's helping me process it. Then I'm able to, like, have a better self-awareness of, like, what is happening. And so then when you guys are asking, I'm like, well, from what perspective?
You do.
And she's so rational. Like, she'll tell you, like, well, Pam, you a little extra. And
even, like, the forgiveness piece. I feel like for you would be like, I'm not talking to that person for months,
so
years.
well.
And then I'm, like, seeing you. I'm like, okay, look at you.
Yeah, she does a great job.
But I do have a very hard cutoff.
Yeah, you do.
Everybody has an expiration date over here. Let's be very clear.
Yeah.
So if you're watching this video thinking you might have a good old end, and this ain't just for guys, it's for old friends
yes.
too.
That's real.
Everybody has
both men and women.
Yeah. Because I feel like this space, when you're in a good space, it too is also about the community that you have. It's also about that energy that you have around you. And I always tell people, like, they're like, would you ever move? Because I am taking that period of going back to Chicago. And they're like, are you going to, like, stay there? And I'm like,
no.
This is the best, like, place I've ever been in. And it's because, like, of Dallas. Like, first of all, it's sunny more than half the year. Yeah. And just, like, my community, and no shade to, like, my friends that are in other places. But, like, I have a healthiness. It's a healthy amount of time that I spend with each of my friends, because I also need
individuals.
Yeah, like, I also need my individual time. And Pam and Shima be doing their own thing half the time. Tamara be doing her own thing. So I do get a lot of time to myself, but I don't feel like I'm alone here. Right. And even, like, I have my group chat too, so I don't feel like I'm alone there. Like, I still feel like I talk to a lot of my friends, like, majority, like, throughout the week. But yeah, no, I don't know. Like,
Okay,
and
before we close, you are, because I do want to ask. I think especially
girl,
if we reflect back on last year's podcast for Valentine's Day, this year, where are you in the space of dating, your perspective, and where do you want to be next year?
Okay, so
that's
I think
question.
That is. I think I have a little
moderator Tam. Okay, I'm sorry.
I think I have a little more sense. I think last year I put in a good effort. I said that on 6
You did.
I put in a very good effort to date different types of guys that were outside of my norm.
You did.
Now you point at me.
No, I was just pointing.
I was like, the shade because I'm Nigerian.
We saw the outfit. No.
What? No.
What's going on?
No, because she was dating the same type of.
But I was dating the same type of guy.
No, that is true.
And not even necessarily the same country, but like the same type.
I'm not even gonna say nothing.
The same type of guy. And I feel like, and I was meeting, like, I think Nagy has said this, like, you meet guys everywhere. And, like, I really, like, felt that. Like, I was meeting guys at different places, like at conferences. I was meeting guys at, like, things that I did naturally, so it didn't feel like I was like forcing myself to go do something to try to meet some guy. It was kind of like I'm already in my environment and they just happen to be there, and if we hit it off, we hit it off. So I feel like I put in a really good effort. I even made it to a 3-month situation that did not work, and it's okay. Like, it didn't work. So I mean, New Year.
But I loved that for you.
Yeah, it was nice. I told my therapist like what I learned, because I feel like I learned something from everybody. What I learned from that situation was
gonna ask that.
That was my first time in a long time that I felt like infidelity wasn't something that I was worried about. No, it was other things, but that's why it didn't work out. But I feel like that was the first time in a long time like I felt secure. And you know, I talk about that where it's like if I'm dating a guy and I feel like if we get married, like I literally be like, nah, I can't marry him. I feel like he's gonna cheat on me.
Yeah.
Like I feel that. And so that was the first time in a long time that I like felt that. And so that kind of built up that like vulnerability where I feel like, okay, like I can be open again because this is still a feeling that is still obtainable.
Was it that he provided security for you?
He provided the security where I didn't question like what my man was doing.
Okay.
And now he has raised the bar. So if you see something different, it's like, all right, next. Because I do think it starts with the man.
Yeah, we got to go.
Okay.
Okay.
That was good.
All right. So this was amazing. Thank you all for both coming. Thank you all. Thank you both for coming again. We're going to run it back next year. This is going to be like our annual thing. I love it. I love it. Next year, family baby married.
Amen.
Right. No, y'all both gonna be thriving. Shoot.
No, but whatever, again, God's timing, whatever God has for me, God has for us. Maybe Samara be a little prego next year. We speaking all the things that say
manifestation. I love it.
And you guys will see this after Valentine's Day. So I hope you had an amazing Valentine's Day. I hope it was filled with love and God and passion and romance and everything that you wanted to do on that day. I hope it was fulfilled. And I will talk to you guys later. This is Savage Season. Happy Valentine's Day. Bye. Ooh.